Here we are in the sunny climes, not too far from Worthing, but it's the south coast and we love it.
Yeah, it's cool.
So we're with Dave and Elliot Day, two great guys. Dave, let's start with yourself.
Yeah.
25, 30 odd years, drag racing, when did you start?
Yeah, I suppose early 90s.
89, 90.
89, yeah, 89, 90, something around that. Run a Volkswagen garage for the last 40 odd years. Built a variant, took it up to Bug Jam, won a few trophies with that. Saw Jim Whelan with the funny car,
Yeah.
a few other cars, and thought, oh, I need to be thinking about this. Sold variant, built a couple of other cars, then started building Days of Thunder,
Yeah.
32, with the intentions of doing a bit of bracket racing with it. But one of my main mentors was Ray Barrow, amazing bracket racer, and yeah, really nice guy. And he convinced me to get away from the show side of things to more of the racing side of things. So yeah, we started off in Super ET. Along came Paul Baton as well. So
Yeah.
with 34, which actually Paul just literally 2 or 3 miles.
See him later.
Yeah, a couple of miles down the
I'm
road.
going to go see him later. Bang on his door.
Yeah, which is it was nice, but always had the interest in hot rods. Really.
And particularly the 30s hot rods as well, even with this.
Yeah, that seems to have gone full circle, hasn't it, really? Yeah. And then built Sarah, my wife, then 69 Mustang, and then we both won our respective championships. So I won Super ET, and she won, I can't remember if it was Street ET or
Street ET, wasn't it?
Street ET, yeah. So she won that, which we believe was
Weren't you the first?
I think that was first husband and wife to win championships respectively, which was pretty good. Wanted to go a bit quicker, a bit more sort of like competitive. Was thinking about putting 32 into super gas. That was always a class we aspired to. Then decided a little bit of a change of plan. Saw John Webster run his Roadster along with Tim Adam and thought, oh, yeah, this looks quite exciting. But didn't really like the shape of the Brogies. Started looking in the back of National Dragster. Found a couple of cars that we liked.
Yeah.
Then another mentor of mine, Sean Saunders, remember Sean?
Yeah.
Said to me, look, go and have a look at a few, but the first car you look at will be the one that you really will think about getting. So we went over to Mullis Race Cars. They had
Florida?
Yeah, Florida, Bradenton. They had, it was a guy there, Ed Richardson, not Ed and two brothers.
Press Dot Drive.
Oh, yeah.
But other Ed Richardson of Mullis Race Cars. He had a 34 Chevy there. I had a look at that and said, would he be prepared to do a deal? And he ummed and ahed and said if he did it would only be as a roller.
Right.
But we'd already sort of like put all of everything in place, so if something
That
did
happened,
happen,
yeah, you
we
got
could
it.
do it. Yeah, that came over in Hurricane, got a little bit damaged, we sorted that out. Then found that big block Chevy with Jeff Ball was the way to go. And we went,
So was that 502 to start?
I think it's 50, either 502 or 509, can't remember now. That worked for a couple of years.
It might have been the 509.
Most probably was on methanol, and then that engine ran consistently for 5 or 6 years, no problem. Nothing went wrong.
Well, it was Jeff Ball for you.
Yes, it's really
Jeff,
great.
yeah.
And then said to Jeff wanted a bit more horsepower, a bit more mile an hour, so we went to 555 in 34. Loved the car, but it was always a bit of a bitch. It was always it was very temperamental on the handling side of things.
It was always pulling, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't so much that. It was a case of mid-track. What we realised was front spring rating was setting up these harmonics on the car, which unsettled it quite a bit.
Was that Chris Isaacs at the time?
Yeah, Chris at the time eventually resolved it. A few more aero mods on it.
Yeah, a lot of knowledge there.
Yeah, and then the opportunity, I got bored with the 34, We then wanted to sort of up the ante a little bit more, and Dave Southcombe had a 37, 38 Chevy body. So we went and had a look at it, bought the body for £800, and then modified the 34 chassis to take 38 Chevy, changed all that around, and then Elliot was then 9 or 10 and said, why haven't I done this? Why am I not? And I just wanted to know, this is my hobby, if you want to come, we'll go. So we ended up going over to Bradenton for a
Weekend.
Florida holiday, as you do. And I said to Els, I'm going to go to the track today. He said, can I come? I said, well, I'm going at 8 o'clock and I'm staying till 8 o'clock. If you come, you can come. But we ain't coming back after the day. I'm going all day. And all I got from 8 in the morning to 8 at night is, what's this? What's that? Why can I do this? What about that? What about this? And from there, things just escalated. We ended up then going to an NHRA meeting in
Vegas.
Yeah.
Now the 4x4 lane strip.
Yeah. Els kept disappearing every half an hour and come back, and I said, what's going on? He says, a car over there I really like. Oh yeah, let's go and look. So it was a tea bucket. We went and had a look at this tea bucket and then come back, and it was just, as you do, bench racing, thinking, oh, we could build this, we could build that. And then within 6 weeks, we bought Terry and Ian Lee's drivetrain out of their old Escort van.
Them two,
yeah.
Van, Terry Lee.
Yeah,
I got with it really well because I was trying to get them a deal with sponsors with one of the car magazines.
Yeah.
Just Spalding, didn't they?
That's it.
No, but they're down it. Down this
Spalding,
road,
yeah. I think they're down in Devon now.
Devon now, Torquay or something.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah.
Well,
And he's a lifeguard or something.
That's it. We bought the drivetrain for that, and then a few things just slipped into place. We ended up down Jago's, talking with them, and then I think it was Rob Stillwell, can't remember his name now. Sorry about that.
Jeff Stillwell.
Jeff Stillwell.
Now we know him very well. I spoke to him
The
this morning.
5-window coupe? No, it's not. That was
But he now.
Rob Whitwell, I think his name
Yeah,
was.
that's the one.
I
Yeah.
was going to say, I was talking to
No, Rob Whitwell, that was it. I'm getting old, my memory's going.
I was talking to Jeff.
Because I had a picture of this, it was like a white pearl 5-window coupe on my bedroom wall. And then a long story short, and we got popped a body out for us, didn't we? We built your T-bucket.
It's a big Balone 315 Chevy.
That was your first
350.
car, wasn't it, really? We took that up to Hot Rod Drags and you drove that around up there. 14
or 15.
15.
Wow.
And then that developed, didn't it? And then all the time we were still running the 38 Chevy, weren't we? And that's when it was grey with flames.
Won a championship.
Me and Els was just running it together, so it was, we'd do the last qualifying run and I put Elliot to bed. And then, yeah, it was good times, wasn't it? We won a championship with that. And then the 38, yeah, that had to go through various reasons. And he wanted to get into racing. You didn't want to do juniors. He was adamant you didn't want to do juniors. And he'd been sitting in Roadster, running it up, and then sort of like just gently pootling around with it, or whatever, be pushing it down to scrutineering together, and was really taking an active role in it at 11
or 12. Yeah.
11 or 12.
And then we just went on together with it.
Yeah, and then we just decided that you saw David Murdoch's 33, the purple one,
Beautiful car.
and fell in love with that. And we then thought, we're not going anywhere with the T-bucket now. It's not moving forward in the way we want to move forward. So that was all sold, and we took out what we wanted to take out of it. Started building Els's 33, just literally built our own chassis. Had a word with David Murdoch, and he kindly rented us the moulds, so we popped the car out of the mould, and Elliot just looked at it and went, "Don't like it." And I thought, oh,
Gold.
right.
What was the reason?
Thought the roof was way too high, the front was too forward, and the thing
We
looked...
saw a Willis recently, didn't we? And
There was no wing. There was
that
no
was
wing on it at all.
Yeah.
That was too low, wasn't it?
No
Yeah.
wings at the back.
Yeah, and
So
we
we just cut it to pieces, didn't we?
Yeah,
We
absolutely.
took 3 inches out the roof. We raked the front forward. We put returns on the inner front wings because we knew that was going to be an issue of speed. We put extended the rear wings like 3 inches, and then built it to what we
wanted.
thought was right, didn't we? Really.
Now, I mean, just going back to you when you first went and you saw the likes of Jim Whelan, so at that time you had Jim Whelan, Harlan Thompson.
Can't remember that. I can remember Jim Whelan's
Funny
yellow funny car.
Yeah.
And I must have. I thought Brian was running his car. I thought it was white, but I might be wrong.
Probably was.
Yeah, but that's going back, geez, what,
Yeah,
35 years?
Definitely.
If not longer than that.
Yeah, definitely.
That's more than you've been alive, really. Yeah, so yeah, quite a bit of time, really.
Yeah. So, do you still get the itch to go out there now, or not?
That's changed quite a bit for me. I've always been hot-headed, and I've always not coped very well with situations if I get angry or stuff don't go well, really. So, for me to take a step back and I'm going to back up a minute. I've raced for God knows how many years.
Yeah.
And for me to let Elliot have the opportunity to race, I think, for me, overpowered the need to go fast.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got various toys that we'll play with speed. I mean, you've got a
We've got a
700
Camaro.
horsepower Camaro sitting out there.
Camaro's all
500 horsepower Daytona truck. If we want to have a bit of fun, and then if we really want to go quick, then I've always given Dad the opportunity to get back in.
Give it the opportunity. Oh, lovely.
I'm going to write that down.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I remember a video, you're racing at the pod. Go on, Els, go on, Els, go on,
Yeah, I
Els,
do.
go on.
I get. That's what I mean. The thing is we've talked about possibly racing in a different class, and Els has expressed quite an interest in it. And I said to him, "Your racing skills are honed for this kind of racing. Now you're going to go off on a tangent off a branch. You got to relearn a lot of stuff." And there's a lot to learn, and you're really keen for it, aren't you? Really.
So where do you want to go, or are you not saying?
Fancy a little bit of bracket racing.
It's got the wrong car for it.
But with the turbo car, it's not really that great. But you look at people like John Sleeth, and what he's doing with that S10 in 760. I mean, he hit it I think 3 times last year.
Your door slamming.
Yeah, I mean,
No, I think if he went into Super Comp, he's going to get his ass spanked. Which you're doing good to get
Yeah,
that
be up
done.
against Leo and all them.
Absolutely, yeah, it'd be good. I'd want to have a little play in it.
But I said, we said that. I said, "Look, you got the wrong car for it," and he went, "No, bro." I said, "You're going to see Leah come down on you big time." I said, "You can't see those front wheels." I said, "We'll have to put cameras on the car." I said, "So you can see everything." I said, "Because Elliot's never driven the finishing line. He knows where it is, but he's never driven it." And that, for me, is really the conversations that we have on what do you mean about this? What do you mean about that? And we can have really good conversations about it, which is quite
So
exciting.
basically, at the end of the day, you don't want to come away from this,
Yeah.
and you want to carry on, but change the format. Yeah.
Yeah, potentially. I mean,
so-
I'm in my heart as in Street Eliminator, but I would have a little play and compensate.
Yeah. So basically, with that on the line, then, and your bracket racing, is it going to be harder to hold it there?
Yeah,
It would be, wouldn't it? Not
potentially. But the thing is, with this thing, it's the way the power delivery is. It's very different from the majority of NA cars that will play in Super Comp. So
It could be entertaining.
it could be interesting to see what happens.
We've had to put. It's funny going on the drag radials. We've had to put delay box in it because he was just constantly going red all the time with the old with the drag radials on there. So that's been exciting. He gets in his happy place and he'll say, "Watch, we'll take a couple out or put a couple in or whatever the case may be." That's been quite exciting. That's where I think that's where now I'm getting the buzz where before it was the competing and the winning and the taking part and the adrenaline rush of that. Now things are making me, I call it the 3 o'clock in the morning club, because you wake up at 3 in the morning thinking, oh, what about this, what about that, or what about the other? And quite often he'll be at uni or something and I'll get, oh no, he's just sent me a picture the other day, oh, this is what Andy reckons we can take out 3 mil out of here. And oh, that's a good idea. And like, you know, we're talking about various things and throwing ideas about. I love that. I love doing it with Els, and I just love doing that, really.
It's an expensive hobby, isn't it? But, you know, it's great fun, isn't it?
It is good fun. I mean, we try and fund a lot of it ourselves.
Well, we do.
What we've always said with finances is that, you know, we'll put the money where things need to be spent, i.e., I mean, if you look at that car, we've got like at the time the best precision turbos that money could buy, because that for us is, you know, what was quite essential. Whereas other things was a compromise. You know, we might not have exactly.
It's not got a brilliant paint. Look at the front end. I've had to paint that because we just turned around and said we're going to spend the money on the shafts and the diff, which
so we've just spent
Andy Robinson has really kindly done such a fantastic, so helpful with that ring. But no, the bodywork will just have to, it will get done as to what we can do, because the money is in that.
But then again, if we think, the bodywork might not be, you know, to the highest standard, we'll make sure that we spend the money on the correct gearbox, the correct engine components, axle especially, what we've just been spending on recently. So we'll make sure that kind of the key things are very, very important that we put the money towards, whereas other things, you know, like bodywork, it's lovely to have a great looking car, but really, you know, we want a low ET. That's the purpose of it.
But the other thing is as well, is on all the other builds, you'll pay 20 or 30 quid to go and have this powder coated, 20 or 30 quid to have that powder coated. We just said, well, hang on a minute, why don't we just buy a second-hand oven, bought cheap powder coated kit, which we've done all our own powder coating.
There you go.
You know,
that's you know, you're getting the right bits.
Yeah,
where you want to be.
Exactly.
We wanted to. Els wanted to set that. We knew that the axle was only going to be on a limited time with the amount of horsepower that he was putting through it. So we spent the money on the bits. Andy and Luke kindly spec'd it out for us of what, you know, of what the parts we needed. We ordered it through them, but we built it ourselves. And what's been really nice, we put a pattern on the gears, didn't we? And El said, I'm just going to see if Andy will just check over it and have a look over it for us. And you run it down to him, and he said, yeah, absolutely fine.
We cannot recommend Robinson.
Really nice just to turn around and have, although he didn't do anything, but just to turn around and say, do that, or you might want to think of this, you might want to think of that, and just sort of like, which is nice for Elliot.
Yeah. Because
now he's the next generation in bringing it forward and hopefully carrying on.
So, Elliot started at a younger age. He really wanted to be out there doing it. He wanted to get involved in it. He experienced the NHRA, and now, obviously, you're here with this.
Mm-hmm.
I'll come back to you in a minute. But so, your experiences. Let's run through. You didn't want to do junior.
So I looked at junior dragsters. Thought, this is great. However, I'd rather wait a little bit and get in something with a bit more power. And learn my racecraft was something that is really, really good and what I'm actually wanting to do. I never had the inclination to get in a dragster personally. My heart is with a door car. So I thought, I could do this. Dad's offered that we can sort one out, but I'm going to wait until I'm 16, get my license, and then progress from there. So I remember going out to a little test and tune. I did 3 passes.
Hang on, back up a minute.
Got a little.
Before it's that, it was always the big I am. Oh yeah, I don't need you. Blah 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 blah. All these bollocks. And he's turned around and said, got to the track, and I said, look, we'll have a word with Ian. Go on and see what Ian says.
Yeah, see what Ian says. So then
I was going to go down with you in the passenger seat.
Dad was going to go down the passenger seat, talk me through it, and I said, I'll be fine. You stand there, it'll all be okay. So I learned to do a burnout. Just rotated the tyres fine, got to the line, and because I've only learnt to drive a turbo car, that's all I really know. So built my boost up, bumped it in and just 60-footed it, and then just cruised off. I think it was like a 19-second. Next time I think I ran a 12 at just over 90 miles an hour. And then the red mist came down, third class, massive rolling burnout, backed it up. And then I think it was like an 11 or something like that, because the beauty of this thing is you can just take all the power out of it and learn to drive it really calmly. So then we progressed, entered my first meeting. I think it was the main event, or could have been Festival of Power at the time. I think we ended up getting a 9-0 at 154 for that event. So, you know, just building, and that's the cognition learning, is that once you learn to do a burnout, a launch and 60 foot, by the time you're half tracking it, you're 1,000 foot, you're quarter, you've sorted all of the rest out, because it's just the repetition and the pure consistency of driving the thing.
That says a lot, because you're actually taking it all on board.
Oh, yeah.
Oh right, yeah. Really? So then the point is like, oh, what's this button? Scramble button. Let's talk about that, shall we?
So,
shall we?
I remember going against Mark Todd, and it was really...
That'd be competitive, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so I looked across...
Yeah, it would have been, but Toddy pulled a cherry and he didn't see it.
Yeah, looked across, saw the Aston, got to 1,000 foot and saw that he red lit and kind of backed off for it. I thought, oh my god, I'm ahead. Let's hit the bump button, which is also the scramble button, so it puts X amount of boost in whatever you want to. So then it's almost like a nitrous button. Hit that, did a block, did 8 pistons. I mean, I've never seen pistons actually melted before, so then came a big bill from EDA.
I picked up.
Yeah, Dad picked up, luckily enough, so got a new engine for it, which is the one in there now, and then we've kind of modified it even more to fit what we wanted to do. Learned with timing, learned with boost, learned with so much. What's really nice is that we've kept with a carburettor rather than going to EFI. So we've learned lots and lots with that.
Got a really helpful guy.
Very helpful guy, Kevin Van Noy in
CSU carburetors.
Yeah, in California, that we constantly deal with. But yeah, that
really helpful guy.
That's the car. And then at the end of my first season, I was kindly nominated for Best Newcomer, which I formally won. I think
formally,
yeah. I think what was that 2021, 2022?
Something like that.
Something like that. And then built up with the car, just learning more and more to drive it how you should. And now I'm in a comfortable position with it. And yeah, just got the thrill for speed and just want to go faster and faster and faster. I mean, at 7's the ultimate aim of it.
Well, you're 8 seconds now?
Yeah, 8:20.
160, 180 between the two.
Yeah,
168,
168.
Yeah.
But on the race back, I've let it go a little bit further than the finishing line. And, you know, we've seen the power of how the turbos actually do work at that latter end of the track rather than the former, and that, I think that's where the power of these turbos really kick in. Is you don't so much realise it on the first bit of the track to the 8th, but then from the 8th,
oh, hang on
the difference with the turbo.
What's your 60 foot? Was it the best 60 foot at the moment? Was
120, and then we've
122, 123, something like that.
I think we've been 490.
What, on a small block? I think that's
497. 497 is the 8th.
From people.
Well, yeah, he's taken it, but what we've done with the 33 as well, we built it to be light, didn't we?
Yeah, it's very light, and we I think that what the fun thing with that is the tuning of the actual chassis. I mean, the engine tuning is fun enough, but when you're actually tuning your chassis, your 4-link, your shocks, to everything, and putting weight different places, and constantly checking the pure physics and maths, that is really intellectually stimulating. And to get that on the track, to actually have a thesis and then put it forward and nail down what you're going out to achieve is the real skill of it.
What we found was going on the drag radials where you got a lot of separation. We wanted to try and work out a method of measuring that separation. And running the race pack, everyone said, yeah, just all you've got to do is put shock sensors on it, and they worked out something like 500 quid. So we just thought, all we're doing is measuring a distance. So we actually got a Wixie's rule and taped it to the bottom part of the shock.
With a mobile phone.
Taped it to the top part of the shock.
With an old iPhone.
With a phone, put it on it, and you can see the separation. Everything worked
And
perfectly.
there was a bit of sponsorship going on there, wasn't it?
Well, it was,
Yeah.
yeah. We got that on the trade deal. But I think the thing was, what that just proved to us, that was both of us looking at a problem and saying, how the fuck are we going to sort this one out? What can we do? We don't want to spend the money on that, where all we are doing is looking at that. And it made us look at the situation, use our brains, and thought, let's try this, and it worked.
It just goes out to show that if you've got a problem and you want to resolve it, take the necessary
I
steps.
mean, you guys, you're quite clearly very well educated and what you're doing and everything, and learning about the race pack and everything that you're doing,
I mean,
and all that, even using that concoction in the back with wicks.
Oh yeah, well,
You know.
I mean, with that thing, there's so much technology involved with it. I mean, all things from programmable ignitions to race packs to boost controllers to delay boxes to EGT.
but we've grown with the car, haven't we?
It's 5 different computers on it, and trying to juggle all of that, does take a bit of thought to come away from it and think, let's try and just go back to basics. And once we understand that, build on the things that the computers are actually assisting us with, and that's the pure fun of it, is using the technology as an assistance rather than a hindrance. I mean, you've got to go with the times.
Absolutely. Now this is effectively a street legal car.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be. For us.
Pure
So
street.
you have to go out and go to the petrol station, out on a cruise, and put a normal pump gas in.
Absolutely. So that's the regulation of Street Eliminator, is make sure you're putting fuel from the petrol station into your car, whether it's diesel, petrol, doesn't really matter. 99. You're allowed to have an additive at there, so a minimum of 8 litres to complete a 26-mile cruise, with the provision that you do a hot start as well. So you've got to do that and then get back to the track within 5 minutes of the previous car, with an exclusion of touching anyone else's car on the cruise, otherwise you'll be disqualified. There's lots of, and you're not allowed to help other people as well, so it's a very individualistic way of competing through qualifying through the cruise. But the essence of the cruise is that you're making sure that all of these cars are roadworthy. So every car you see in Street Eliminator, whether it's Andy Bond through any other competitor, each one is fully entitled to be there and is qualified as a street car compared to other classes. I mean, certainly you see in the States with things like Sick Week, where there's all kinds of things that are changed. You've got different tyres on, different ECUs will go in, parachutes will come off, and trailers put on. With Street Eliminator, the cars are given an hour after the last qualifier to prepare for the cruise. And
to cool down, basically.
Cool down. Do you have to take the chutes out of your lead?
No, we don't.
Chute will stay on.
Yeah. Everything stays on. We leave the chute on and everything.
The car goes as it is on the street. There's no change that we
Lovely
do.
to see.
It's fun.
It is really fun.
Do you take it out around here or not? Really?
We should do it more. We go to a few car shows a year, but with that thing, it's not so much using it on the road, it's seeing how other people drive on the road and seeing how other people react to that.
Yeah.
You've got all the things from souped up Fords to Ferraris that will come up alongside you and want to play, and with that thing, the only place to play is on the racetrack. You cannot use this car on the road.
That is a fine example. I've seen this at Centrepod, where there was a bloke in a Porsche up against the junior Dragster modified, and it done him. He was so unhappy he went home. But that's what I'm saying. So you get something like that, and you're on the road, it's going to happen, isn't it?
But mind you, it's a lovely bit of road just outside the Asda up there, which has got the non-slippy stuff in front of it with a set of lights, really, and it's really handy for building boost and bumping against the light and going off of that.
Oh, absolutely.
Done that a couple of times.
I mean, the thing with the street car is if you've got a problem, then you take it out on the road and test it. We spent a bit of money on a lovely bit converter from Nick and Paul at Edge Transmissions, and we wanted to really see where this thing locked up and went. So, you know, a bit of a blast into second at 7,000 RPM.
No,
was needed.
Nothing to do with this whatsoever.
So you're sitting there with 4,500 and you're going up 7 or 8. Yeah.
Well, just click it in second. You can do the massive how quick that was, but it's fun to use on the road. It is fun.
Yeah.
That's why we had to do the bodywork on the front end, because like it was coming out the screamer pipe so much, it just burnt holes in the front.
Yeah,
really. But
Excellent.
such is life.
Yeah.
Fun car.
So you're looking at maybe diversifying slightly, or possibly.
Yeah, I mean the great thing with this car is that you have got that option of going down different roads. It's not like you've got a super comp dragster where you're going to go, you're out of your depth for entering a comp eliminator class for super comp dragster. You've got super comp, could slow it down to pro ET, and you've got super pro. With this you could really go pro ET, super pro, street eliminator, comp eliminator.
It's got a lot to learn.
You've got a bit of option with it.
See, pro ET, is that where you want to be?
I'd probably want to go to a fixed styling, if I will. So seeing Dad do super comp over the years,
Sandbagging then?
I'd quite like to do.
No, not so much sandbagging. If he's got enough race sense and racecraft, he should be able to drive the car properly.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be the test, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that's where Elliot wants to prove himself. He wants to be able to tell us, I can drive this thing properly. And I think the problem being is with that car is limited vision. He ain't going to see across the lanes. He's going to have to use his life really.
Yeah,
but it's something that I think he wants to
He's
try.
clever enough. Coming up against the likes of Dolly Daydream, you know, the Walters and
absolutely.
Jeff Hauser, Scott Hauser and that, different ball game there. And I remember when all of those were juniors. Little Joe Kelly, drumming man.
Yeah.
So little now, is he? But you know what I mean? All of them, you know, they were all juniors.
Yeah. We always said it would have been nice to keep the Roadster for another 3 or 4 years and put him in a Roadster.
Yeah.
Because I think that could have been a real killer combination.
Yeah.
That could have been a killer combination. It would have been fun, but you know.
But you know, you got this now. You can take it wherever you want to go.
Absolutely, and my heart is in this car. I love it to bits. Absolutely love it to bits.
You know, your system.
But saying that, if the opportunity came, I don't know where we're going to go with this one really in a couple of years' time when I'm hopefully retiring this year, that I end up with more time on my hands and we end up building another car. I think you'd jump that straight in that. Really,
absolutely. I mean, we're
any idea what you want it to be?
We've got a few ideas.
Okay.
It would probably be, well, you pull that expression, but realistically, the amount of times he's priced up 2012 Camaros, you know, full 6.0,
not at all,
double rail, you know, 540 twin 88, something like that would be where we'd want to go. I think we're both very inclined to turbos. I think, you know, seeing the way drag racing is going and the technology in turbos, especially what Precision are doing, I think that's where our heart would be. If I could take the words out of your mouth.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Would you move this on, or
the thing is
you're gonna have to qualify as a barrister first, and then we'd most probably keep that. And he'll
keep it. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, then he can just put me in a home and keep me to the way I'm accustomed to and everything, and I'll build him another car. I don't mind that, but he's gonna have to earn some money first, I think, really. On that one.
I mean, we're getting you couldn't put much more into this without it getting a bit dangerous.
I don't know. I think you could go LS with it really, and bigger turbos and lose a bit of weight. And
well, we could put it on a diet, but for what this car is, we like the way it's working, and we've both agreed that we would like something that's easier to work on, that we can do more maintenance with.
Very compact, isn't it?
With this car, although it does look the absolute bollocks, if I say so myself, it is. You know, we going to something that's more easy to work on would probably be.
It's a step forward in one aspect.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, it's been absolutely incredible coming here today.
Oh, thank you.
Talking to you both.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You know, and I'm wishing you all the best. So possibly not early part of the season.
Not early part, but you know, strongly.
I'm going to say watch this space, because we've since taking this bit of time out, we've found quite a few areas where we needed time to think about what was going on. And we've both thought, oh, hang on a minute, this isn't quite right, let's look into this. And found a few areas that we know that we can improve on. So 820, 169, we know that we're going to make an improvement on that, which is exciting.
I think from now on it's just going to be testing what we want to test.
It's going to prove what we thought. We all put a lot of our theory into practice, don't we, really? I think we'll be good.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Good.
Elliot, Dave, top man. What a very firm handshake.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Nigel. Much
And Dave,
appreciated.
thank you very much indeed. This has been enlightening. It's nice to see young people come into
Absolutely.
with
Absolutely,
our generation coming up and,
Yeah.
you know, and doing it. So fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Perfect.
Pleasure.